did.
Sweet. All right. 3, 2, 1. And here we are back again, Friday, May 15th, 2020. Deep from South Texas, deep in the middle of a motherfucking pandemic, deep in some goddamn bullshit. Fuck the government. Anyway, I'm Sean Hatfield. This is Bouncing Brains.
The thoughts and views expressed previously by the previous gentleman are solely his thoughts and views. I did not say anything about this beautiful government.
I'll let you back out of the room slowly, motherfucker.
My name's Freddy G. How the fuck are y'all doing, man? Shit. I shouldn't even ask that. I think that's a rhetorical question. I know most of us are barely hanging on. I understand some of us are dead. Relax. I can already see everybody's face.
Hey, Freddy.
We just lost like 5 of them.
They're dead motherfuckers every day.
Yeah. How y'all doing, man?
Grandma wasn't going to live forever.
Real quick, before we continue going, I just want to let y'all know, this episode has been brought to you by Rockstar. If you ever feel like a rock star, grab a Rockstar, and you feel more like a rock star. Where's our fucking sponsorship, Rockstar? Shit.
Please mail the address and the phone number at the bottom of your screen. No nudes, please. I mean, unless that's part of the contract. I mean, let me ask you that, Freddie. If somebody was like, I'll pay you $5,000 to do like 10 minutes of comedy, but you gotta look at my penis afterwards.
Where do we sign? I mean, shit.
All right.
You said it yourself. Goddamn, we in the middle of a pandemic. I'm broke. Well, I mean, I was broke before that, but it just feels a little worse.
Dude, did you catch these articles about people fucking, now granted, this is probably some sensationalist bullshit, but, basically tenants offering landlords and landlords asking tenants for sex for rent.
Oh shit, I did not read that. I mean, I knew that was going to happen at some point, but,
dude, that happens on the best day.
Yeah.
I could show you on Pornhub a couple of
yeah, man. I mean, I didn't read that, but I figured that a bunch of shit was not gonna go well. Okay, folks. So we don't have a lot of fucking time. 2 hours may seem like a long time, but there were some points that I've been asking myself, because I have nobody else to talk to, because I haven't been in contact with the outside world in months. And, you know, after a while, you get tired of hearing the same answer because you're talking to the same motherfucker in the mirror. So,
you gotta develop some new personalities, Freddie.
Yeah, all 13 of us want to know that. No. But, you know, like, first of all, welcome everybody that has been in isolation for the past 2 months. Welcome to the last 33 years of my life. So, you know, everybody that, you know, is saying, oh my God, have you heard? We're going to have to be locked inside. We're not going to be able to go out. We can't go eat. We can't talk to our friends. I've been doing that shit for as long as I can fucking remember. I don't do shit but leave the house, go to work when I do have a job, and come back. When I don't have a job, I leave the house. Not sure where the fuck I'm going, but I'm going somewhere and I come back. So, when the governor was saying, you know, oh, we locked in place, I tripped out because I'm already not going out. I'm already not doing anything other than working and leaving the house for that. But when they said total lockdown, that's what got me. Total lockdown. I tripped out because I was like, holy shit, like, what are we supposed to do? What's going to go on? And then when all of y'all started telling me, well, you can't leave your house. You can't go to the store. You can't, you can't socialize with other people. You can't go to a bar. Okay, well, I have already not been doing that. So it didn't really affect me much. So what I'm getting at is,
this isn't the first time the government's told you not to go anywhere.
What was the last time? I don't remember.
Joking about your felonious history.
Oh shit. Oh, yeah, you want to bring up shit, huh? I didn't know we were going that far back.
Bitch, we going back to 1918, bitch. This is influenza all over again. By the way, anybody out there who thinks we're going to cure this shit, get that shit out of your fucking mind.
Exactly.
We got a new friend and that motherfucker ain't leaving.
Exactly. That was one point I was going to hit. But I mean, aside from that, man, I really do hope that everybody out there is staying safe. Please stay the fuck home. You do not need to be out, man. You don't get that shit out. Nothing, I promise you, nothing will happen if you stay home, if you stay away from people. On the contrary, if you do go out, honestly, motherfucker, you may die. People have been dying from this shit. So, I'm not gonna lie, every now and then, I do like to see 1 or 2 or 3 people, but I don't want to see none of you motherfuckers bad enough to the point where, like, I'm gonna risk my life just so I can see this bitch. No, so do us all a favor, stay home, just go out for what you have to do, but what I mean is for food. I'm not saying pussy is that important. I've been on a drought, but that's a different story. Don't think I'm just saying it because of that. But yeah, man, just do us all a favor, stay home. And then we have a lot of shit to cover within these 2 hours. To the point that Sean touched on briefly, he's absolutely correct. If you're an ignorant person that think that by sometime in December, early January, there's going to be a cure for this shit, I'm not sure you understand exactly how a virus works. I don't really understand exactly how a virus works, but I'm going to give you an example. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was this horrible thing called AIDS. And nobody knew what it was. People thought that it was contracted from gay people. They're like, oh, well, only gay people can get it. Then they figured out that straight motherfuckers were getting it too. Oh, well, straight motherfuckers get it too. But they thought the same thing. No, don't worry about it. The government gonna find a cure and shit like that. It's 30, 40, 50, I don't even know how many years later, AIDS is still here. Now, are you living with AIDS? You are, but that bitch is still here. So this, whatever the fuck this is, this virus, is here to stay. You're not gonna get rid of it. So the only thing that we can hope for is that we can actually live with the motherfucker.
And here's the thing, man. The facts on the ground as it stands are fucking good, man. You keep hearing this shit about, like, what is it? Was it 25% or something like that of people are asymptomatic?
Yeah. I think there was more than that.
Like, we kind of want it to trend that way. Like, you want, think about how many times you've gone to work with a fucking cold or a flu and just been like, fuck it, I can handle this. I'll keep my hands clean. I won't sneeze on nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's the best fucking tactic. Y'all are assholes if you do that. I've been an asshole in the past.
But
what I'm saying is, man, you want to be able to walk around with this shit. And like I said, man, we have a new friend.
Yeah.
Hopefully he stops shitting on the front fucking porch.
Exactly. Now, I'm not, how can I explain this so I don't piss people off?
Yeah, pussy. Go for it. Kick their favorite fucking puppy.
You have to understand, man, that like I mentioned, it's here to stay. But something that people need to understand, people also need to stop saying the flu kills more people on a yearly basis. It hasn't even been a year yet, and this motherfucker almost wiped out half of the country.
Don't be hyperbolic.
I'm exaggerating, but you know the point I'm trying to make.
Like, let's be honest, man. This shit didn't shut down the country. We shut down the country.
No. I said it wiped out the country, as in people that died, is what I'm saying.
But it didn't, man. I mean, honestly, even the numbers you're talking about, don't get me wrong, they're fucking impressive. They're scary, but it's not devastation. This isn't, we're not shutting this down like, how to put this, man? This is both worse and way fucking better than something like Ebola. You know what I'm saying? Ebola will fucking kill your ass. There is no surviving. But you will die.
But you also got to remember that Ebola, when it hit, I mean, not unless there's something horribly that I don't remember. But it didn't hit the U.S. like this shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is how it's worse than Ebola in that it's way more virulent. That's not the right word. Infectious.
Yeah.
There is a higher probability that you would catch something like this just because it seems to be a very hardy virus. It lives on various surfaces. By the way, if you have stainless steel shit, wash it off. And apparently stainless steel is horrible for this shit. Bleach the fuck out of it as often as possible. For some reason, plastic seems to be way better at this. It's like a 3 or 4 hour life on plastic, which is way better than almost every other substance. I think stainless steel was close to like 24 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Another thing before we continue talking about this shit, because we are going to talk about it quite a bit more. I want to make this disclaimer, and it's kind of a joke, but I'm halfly serious. Before you continue listening to us, if you're still with us, which I'm hoping you are,
do not use this as your primary information source.
Exactly. Please do not use this as a primary information source. I'm too stupid to explain a lot of this shit to you. I'm just going off of what I read, what I understood. I can give you some of the sources where I got it from, but please don't say I heard it on the Bouncing Brains and it's got to be true. Because if you're going to, if you're taking this information from us and as a 100% credible source, I'll tell you myself, I feel very sorry for you. Don't do that. Don't always remember that in the back of our heads, in the back of our minds, we're still comedians at heart. So,
which is why we'll joke about dead people.
Exactly. That dead people joke. I ain't shitting on anybody. I'm just saying,
hey, they dead. They ain't gonna be offended.
They're dead. That's exactly right.
But no, hey, seriously, if there is somebody out there, you got losses and shit, use this as a coping mechanism. We're not telling you how to fucking think, okay? If you got grief, fucking deal with grief, regardless of why. Just deal with the personal shit if you got to deal with it. But by all means, laughter is a survival instinct. So if you can come here and get a few giggles in, cool. If we can share some shit, maybe some information sources. By the way, I want to run through that in a second. But if we can hand something off to you that we've picked up along the way that can help you, or if we can just entertain you in any fashion, by all means, take that.
That's why we're
Don't
here.
take offense, because it ain't going to help you, ain't going to help us in any fucking fashion.
Exactly.
As far as resources, we were just talking about this before. You said you would watch the Rogan podcast with Rhonda Patrick.
So I'm gonna give y'all a rundown of what I've seen, what I've read, just real quick, because that's basically where I'm gonna throw that's my arsenal of information. You don't have to believe it. You can go look at it yourself. You can look at other sources. You can say, "Oh, everything I'm saying is bullshit." That's fine. I'm not here for you to debunk me. I'm not here for you to prove me wrong. I'm trying to lean into the best factual facts that I can find. Because to be honest with you, even the people up top at this point, I hate to break it to you, but it seems like they don't know what they're doing. That's the
only thing I truly appreciate about those conferences with Fauci. Fuck, I can never remember his first name, but the national fucking health, yada yada. Anyway, very often is you'll see these quotes where he says something and they'll print that, but then if you actually look at what he said, he goes, "But we don't fucking know."
Exactly. Now, I want to touch. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Fauci.
Fauci. Okay.
Fauci.
Yeah, Dr. Fauci. Now, first of all,
I'll give him his honorific when he cures this shit.
I was going to say, on the other hand of Sean's stance, that I've seen him on the fucking panel with Congress. To me, that shit doesn't mean anything. To me. Doesn't mean...
Did you watch the full hearing? I haven't had a chance to.
I haven't. But what I have done is I've seen him on 2 or 3 different long form podcast like this one, but more credible podcast. So the only thing I want to point out with this doctor is, to be honest with you, from the stuff that he said and the way he's explained it, he's the only one that I've heard so far where I believe him. One of the reasons that I believe him is because in some of the podcasts, he's not afraid to say, this is what we think, but we're not sure. And he'll say, there's not enough data, but so far. So somebody like that, I believe, because at least he's making me feel like he's telling me the truth. Other people that I've heard, I hate to hear people say, no, this is what it is. So if this is what happens, this is what's going to happen. Motherfucker, you don't know. And the only thing exactly that you're doing...
there's almost a sense, and to be honest, if y'all haven't noticed this, pay attention to this when you're listening to people, regardless of what specialist they are. But you get those people that come out and give you information like they were in lab studying, and they went, Eureka! And they run out with the results. And that shit makes you feel good. You know what I mean? When they go, we know, and you're like, yay. But like, what you want is a motherfucker that basically makes you feel like you're sitting next to him at the desk and he's going, look, the information I got right now says this. I'll get back to you when it says something else. And you're like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? You're feeling like you're getting them updates.
Yeah.
And that makes people anxious. I realize that because they're like, but I don't know. Well, guess what? Life, you don't fucking know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When the lights go out, what happens next? You don't fucking know. So live your life as if there are going to be some doubts, and look for those people who are trying to update their information.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm getting some of my information, not from the panel from Congress, but from some of the podcasts that I've heard him on. And you can go on Google and type in his name and type in podcast next to it, and I'm pretty sure you'll find them. The other source that I'm using as far as information is, I can never pronounce this right either. Is it the Mayo Clinic or is it the Mayo Clinic?
Mayo.
Okay. The Mayo Clinic. This is studies that they pull, that they do from Harvard, as far as from what I understand. Now, again, me, I'm not saying anybody else, but if I can't trust in this country a top university at this point like Harvard, then who the fuck can I trust for like sensitive information like this? So I've read some articles off of that. And I also, because people know, well, I mean, before this shit's been going on, I used to go to the gym a lot, and I do a lot of, cardio workouts and stuff like that. So there's also some really good articles, on Runner's World. Runner's World is basically, they give you a bunch of information on running and cardiovascular health, cause that's what the website's about. But they've integrated a lot of studies from what the COVID is causing and the effects on the cardiovascular system and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that there's a bunch of information on there, but I have read quite a bit of information there. The other source that I do trust quite a bit, because she's a no bullshit doctor, is Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She is not an infectious disease doctor, but she really knows what she's talking about, and she's another one that I like, because she's another one that is not afraid to say, okay, this is what we know so far, but I don't know this, and there's not sufficient information to back this up, but we think she's that type of doctor, so I trust her. So this is what I wanted to get into. In these 2 months or however long it's been, all we hear is stay away, social distancing, don't sneeze on people, don't touch people, don't have social gatherings, don't. But what I feel that we're not focusing on is, what about the do's? And I'm not saying what can we do as far as what can we do for entertainment, what can we do? I mean, that's good too, I'm not shitting on that. But I haven't heard people come out and say, what can we do to strengthen our immune system? What about average people that have shitty immune systems like myself? I have a very shitty immune system. Well, I mean, like given a year and a half back, I had a really shitty immune system before I started taking care of myself, eating right, and taking vitamins and whatnot. So that's kind of where I was going, like with this podcast. Again, I am not an expert, but I've been doing a lot of reading as far as what we can do for the immune system. So something that I wanted to touch on and kind of bounce off you, because I know you have a little bit of knowledge on this, is vitamins. Everybody says, well, yeah, I take a multivitamin, I do this, and so on and so forth. Now, the thing about multivitamins, I'm not saying stop taking them.
They're a very nice placebo.
Yes, exactly. So this is the thing. Again, I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not a fucking nutritionist. What I understand from multivitamins is you have a whole bunch of essential vitamins that your body needs on a daily basis in one fucking pill. That's great. That's awesome. The downside to that is that out of all the vitamins that you need, you have very little of every vitamin. So, according to Dr. Rhonda Patrick, there's nothing better. We understand, another thing I want to mention, we all understand that we're on a budget. Some of us are broke, including myself. I'm really broke. But you got to think about, like, your health. You only get one health. You only get one life. If that shit's gone, you can't replace it. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying go spend your wallet in one fucking trip to the store. What I'm saying is, it's a lot better if you can consume vitamins separately. It's a lot better.
Not just that, but you do have to factor in, like, what's your diet? What are you likely to be low in?
That's where I was going, but I was kind of laying the foundation to get to that.
Okay, I get you.
So what I was saying was,
you do want to separate them out, and
So, but what I'm saying is, like, you separate them out because you want to isolate that particular vitamin. So the vitamins that are healthy for your actual immune system are vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and zinc. A lot of people forget about zinc, and a lot of fucking people don't even know what the fuck that is. So these are the essential vitamins that your immune system needs to stay healthy and to build defenses and whatnot. Now, when this is the kind, so you take them separately so you can isolate and get a bigger dosage from that particular vitamin. Now, when you take them orally, unfortunately, the breakdown of the actual vitamin, long story short, you end up taking, I believe it's like 15 to 20% of the actual vitamin, because the acid in your stomach basically burns everything else out, and you pee it out or you shit it out.
And to be honest, if you're doing focused vitamins, something like, I know there are a couple that you can't get in liposomal form, but basically if you can get it into the bloodstream through oral administration, the stuff like you put under your tongue and you hold it there for a while, that in a lot of cases, because there's some stuff that will pass right into your digestive system, it'll do fine. Vitamin C, I think, is one of those,
that's where I was going, kind of with that, was the fact that when you take these vitamins, there's certain dosages that you want to take, with certain vitamins, like, for example, vitamin C. Vitamin C you want to take, and the recommended dose from everywhere that I've read, is you don't want to consume more than 2,000 milligrams within 24 hours. Which I want to let you know a couple of things that I've read and that I've known from experience. The only reason that they tell you only 2,000 milligrams daily is because, one, they say that anything above that, you just shit out and your body doesn't use. That's been proven to be wrong. That your body still uses it. Because remember, I said that some of it goes into your gut and then it gets rid of it anyway. But still, the dosage of the shit that you take, if it's higher, it's going to use more. Now, the downside of that is that if you take too much, the worst thing that can happen to you is you're just going to get the shits. But what I'm getting at is that you're not gonna overdose on vitamin C. You would have to take an insanely high amount of vitamin C or any vitamin except for iron. Iron will fuck up your shit.
Yeah. B12 too. Be careful with that shit.
And B12. B12 and iron are the only exceptions. Don't fucking overdo that shit. But like vitamin C, the vitamins I just mentioned, you're not going to really overdose on that. So the reason that I say that is because if you're somebody like myself that can't afford, to spend a lot of money and your budget is airtight, the best that you can do is take these vitamins individually. You can get them. You can get the generic brand for like $6 to $7 of each. Like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E. Zinc's the only expensive one. Zinc, you get 90 capsules. I got 90 capsules for $22, but it's a 3-month supply. So it's not that bad. So that's the best route to take when you don't have a lot of money and you take them daily. So over a long period of time, it's going to give you the same effect, and you're going to build those defenses. Now, 2 things I want to say with that. Vitamin D, and this is something Dr. Rhonda Patrick said. She said she can't professionally say that it directly blocks you from getting the coronavirus or he'll help you recover from it. But she has said that there has been studies already made to where that may happen. The reason, and I'm sorry, I'm going to give you a heads up. I cannot break down the complete science of it because I don't remember all of it. But there is a great podcast with her, with Joe Rogan and Rhonda Patrick. I think it was the last
She also
one.
has her own podcast, I believe.
Yeah. I forgot what the fuck the name of it. I think it's called Where's My Health? I think. I'm not sure. Or What's My Health? Something like that. Look it up on YouTube or type in Dr. Rhonda Patrick podcast and it'll come up. But
just as a quick note, if you do end up looking at go and listen to her past episodes. Even the past ones on Rogan, she has some great stuff on gut and neural health. That, I mean, fascinating. If you've already looked a little bit into some of these subjects, she's one of the things I like about her is she's got that research minded. She's like, you know what? I've read this. I don't know if it's a fact, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to do my research, see about this. So a lot of the information that she's bringing to the table is she's not just regurgitating shit that she's heard, which is exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But she's coming to you with some hands-on stuff, like I tried this and this was my result, yada yada. Obviously for this particular case with the virus, that's not going to be the case. Nobody knows what the fuck this is. Okay.
Yeah. So with vitamin D, the reason that she says, and other doctors, like I said, I've heard in different podcasts, that it's very important is because she said that up to, I don't remember if she said up to 75 or 80% of human beings on Earth, not in the US, but like on Earth from different studies that they've made, we're deficient in vitamin D. So because of that, we have a lot of immunity issues and stuff like that. And a lot of us don't know that we're vitamin D deficient, so we don't really do anything to like take care of it. So the other reason that she says that is very important is because in different studies, it's come to show that vitamin D is one of the few vitamins, aside with another one that she had said, I don't remember which one. I keep wanting to say that it's vitamin K, but I'm not sure. Vitamin D and another vitamin are the only vitamins that actually, when you take them, they go into your system and your system turns them into a hormone. So what that hormone does, it duplicates itself within your body, and then that hormone starts to create the antibodies, which is your immunity towards infectious diseases. So they did a study where the more vitamin D that you have in your body, the better chances, again, not the coronavirus, but the better chances that you have of fighting off actual infectious viruses. Not in illnesses, but like actual viruses that you can get through your bloodstream. So that's why she feels that vitamin D therapy is very important, especially for men of color, which is black men, or unfortunately and fortunately Latino men like myself, because we are actually some of the lowest human beings in vitamin D vitamin D consumption.
Let's put it this way:
production as well.
If you don't tan, or if you don't tan easily, you need to be fucking thinking about this shit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't tan at all, so it's an issue. So where I was going with it, something that I've been looking at, I've been strongly looking at, and that I'm going to experiment with myself, because I've heard very positive feedback, and I hope to come back on this thing and let y'all know how it went. Is I've been looking into vitamin drips. Have you ever had a vitamin drip?
Like an actual IV?
Yeah. No. So quick story, and y'all can laugh if you want, but this is a true story. Everybody that know me, that has been watching this shit for a long time, knows that I'm a recovering alcoholic. That's a true story. I've been sober for 9 years now. So when I used to drink a lot. Like, I used to go days drinking.
I would just like to point out, it was 7 years when we started this, and I've yet to be a bad influence.
Exactly. So I've been sober for 9 years, but I used to drink a lot. So way back in the day when I used to drink and I used to get hangovers, because it just means your body's dehydrated and shit, I used to have a friend. She was a nurse. I will not disclose her name because I still talk to her, but she was a nurse, and I remember we used to talk to her. I used to call her, and I used to tell her, "Hey man, I'm really fucked up. Can you come help me out with an IV?" So she would actually come to my house, and she would hook me up with an IV. And almost instantly, within 10 to 15 minutes, my hangover went away. So this is what I'm getting at with that. For people that don't know, vitamin drips, if you've never heard of it, if this is the first time that you hear of it, Google it. That's exactly what you need to type in. That's the correct medical terminology. It's called a vitamin drip. Basically what it is just an actual vitamin itself through an IV. And you're getting the vitamin itself. Like, there's nothing else. Well, I mean, there might be some other shit, but it's a very concentrated vitamin, and it goes directly into your bloodstream. So
do be mindful that there are certain vitamins that do need to go through your gut process and all that.
Good.
You brought up vitamin K earlier, and one of the things that I've always found, it's just one of those tidbits that sticks in the back of my head and kind of keeps, it informs kind of how I prepare my diets, is vitamin K1, I believe, you can get from supplements and from your food. But vitamin K2 requires, it requires that your gut bacteria is the proper culture, and because what you need is, I believe it's cruciferous vegetables like cabbage, kale, that kind of stuff. And the gut bacteria will break down and then produce the K2.
Yeah.
And that's not the only nutrient that works that way. So be mindful of that.
Correct. Now, again, I'm leaning towards the vitamins that I told you for your immune system. Every vitamin that I mentioned, because I have done my research on this, it's actually recommended that if you can get them through an IV, it's better to get them that way. Now, why through an IV? If you've never been a drug addict,
goes right to the veins.
Exactly.
By the way, just to reiterate, the liposomal, this is why I was recommending that, because if you can get it directly into the bloodstream, but if you can find a nurse out there that's willing to hook you up with some shots.
I know some people. Edit that out. No, I'm fucking with y'all. No, this is what
Turns out heroin's great for it.
No, I'm just fucking with y'all. So this is where I'm going with it. I found out back then, I don't know, because I was young and I just needed the shit. I didn't care if it was legal or illegal. I didn't care if she could lose her license or whatever. But I found that today, it's not illegal. You can actually get a private nurse. It's kind of pricey. It'll run you about $150 to $200 if you get a private nurse to administer the IV in the privacy of your own home. Whatever you fucking do, don't go to a hospital and ask for it, because you can get it, but they gonna rape you. So don't ask at a hospital. So this is my point. I understand that money's tight right now because a lot of us are home, a lot of us ain't working. I'm working. I'm not gonna say that. I don't want God to take that blessing away from me, but I'm working and everything. But I know a lot of us for a long period of time we weren't. So I understand money's tight. But the reason I want to experiment with it is because I actually found a place that does it here in McAllen. They administer vitamin drips, and they're actually the cheapest place that I found. I found one in Mission and I found one in Edinburgh, but everybody was charging upwards of $200 for the treatment. To me, that was a little too high. Like I said, we broke. The cheapest one I found was, they charge, $130, and it's actually an infusion of vitamins that they administer through the IV, and they're gonna give you all the vitamins that I just mentioned. And when you actually do
that's covered under, like, all of those, the A, the E, the zinc.
Yeah,
all those are covered
the vitamin
under
D,
the 130,
yeah.
Or is it 130 per?
No. It's
130
it's
for the full treatment.
Yeah,
okay, fuck it, man. I might ask you for that afterwards.
Yeah. So it's 130. The only one that you do need to add, because when I go, I'm gonna have to add it, and it's $20 if you want to add more vitamins. To be honest with you, there's not much more vitamins that you can add. They only leave two out, which is the zinc and I can't pronounce it.
Oh, the zinc is not?
No.
Okay.
Zinc is the only one that's not included. And another one, the methylthiazidone, something. It's a vitamin and it's something else. It's a combination of a vitamin and something else.
You triggered something back there. It's back there.
I can't remember exactly what it is. Those two.
Thione or something like that. Yeah.
Those two you can add into the IV bag, but they charge you $20 a pop. So it'll be an additional $40 for those two, along with what you're already taking. So, just like probably like y'all are wondering.
Just to, since you already looked at it, do they do like an a la carte type of thing? Can you go in and just go, I want D or A?
Yes and no, because it goes back to what I just said. The only thing, because A, C, D, E, and the one I can't pronounce. No. A, C, D, and E, and K. K1. Mm-hmm. The one that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Those are all included in the bag.
Okay.
The one that's not included is the zinc and the other one.
But I'm saying if you go in, like, they're gonna, like, you can, how do I put this? Like basically, it's like ordering the pizza and getting your toppings. Like the base product is going to be the full infusion, and then you can add stuff. But you can't go in and get like, I want this one or this one and this one.
No, you can't do that. They do have one. The only one I'm lying. The only one that they do that with is vitamin C. You can get vitamin C by itself, but it's hell of expensive. Really? What I'm saying is, it's more expensive to get one vitamin, like administer, like an IV bag with one vitamin, than to get the infusion. This is what I'm saying. So you go in there, they administer the bag. What I wanted to point out with that is that when you intake when you absorb those vitamins that way, you have to understand that they're going directly to your bloodstream. So you're actually intaking up to 90% of the actual vitamin. So that's why they make you better. You almost feel it like right away. I'm not going to fucking say that it's instantly, but you will feel it within the hour. You'll feel that there's something in your body that's helping you.
I just want to throw a caveat out here because this is something that every once in a while, when I've looked into the nutrients, either getting the supplements or increasing some certain, item into the diet and all that, be mindful of one, is your liver healthy? Because that's where your filter is. All this stuff is going to pass through your liver, and if it's in bad condition, you're going to have some issues with some of this. I think A has some, you can get a little bit too much, and it'll build up over time. But if your liver's good, you're good. Yeah. But also be mindful if you're taking any medications or any like exotic type of supplements.
That was the other point that I was going to make, and I should have said that first. Before you try to get a vitamin drip, because they don't, I'm not going to say they don't care, but when you go get a vitamin
drip,
they
trust that you're not a fucking moron.
Yeah. They don't ask you for a pre-screening. They don't really ask you any health questions. They just, they assume that you know what you're getting. So they just ask you what you want and they give it to you. Kind of like your drug dealer. Anyway, I mean, they do that. So what I'm telling you is, before you do this, if you do consider doing it, go to your primary care physician, get a screening. If you have insurance, it's free. Well, for most insurances, I'll take that back. For most insurances, a screening is free. For other insurances, if you're paying more than $40, they're ripping you off. Get a different insurance. But you'll pay like $40 to $45 to get a screening, whatever. They'll do your labs. Do your labs just so like Sean said, just so that your body is in average. It doesn't have to be excellent, because we all know that we're a lot of us are not excellent.
You are not a finished product, goddammit.
Exactly. So, but as long as you're average, you should be fine. So get yourself a screening, get your blood work done. Another thing, you have to be careful. The only thing you do have to be careful about is if you're anemic. If you're anemic, it is not recommended that you get high doses of vitamin drips. I cannot break down the science to why, but it's not recommended. So check and just make sure that you're not anemic, that you're fine, that you have average health. Get yourself checked out. If everything checks out, you can go get a vitamin drip. The other good thing about it is one of the questions that I asked was, I don't like fucking vegetables. I don't like fruit. I don't like eating it. You can say it's delicious. It's fucking not. It's gross. That's just me.
I've always said you're a bloodthirsty motherfucker.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I like red meat, and that's about it. So what I'm saying is, I don't like that shit. I don't like to eat it. It's not good to me. You can put butter on it. You can put cheese. I still don't like it. So, my thing is, I asked the lady, if I get these vitamin drips, can I get away with not eating, like my daily serving of fruit, my daily serving of vegetables and stuff like that? This is what she said. She said,
Use a fool?
Huh? She said, it's not recommended, but if you don't, you'll be fine. Because technically, you're consuming all of the vitamins that you would consume in a lot of your vegetables and stuff like that, with the exception of the ones that you mentioned.
Right.
But as far as like your immune system, you're getting all the vitamins through your IV, so you would still be fine. And she was like, plus, they're going directly into your bloodstream as opposed to you going through your digestive system, so they're gonna make effect quicker. She said, but if you do that, the only thing that I recommend is that you try your best to get if you get a vitamin drip, try to stay on the vitamin drip as regularly as possible. So again, my question, I'm kind of broke. What's regularly, as possible? And she said, we recommend at least twice a month, but if you can hack doing it once a month, you'll be fine. You can get a vitamin drip once a month and you'll be fine. And she told me, that's if you're average, if you don't have anything wrong with you, if you're not diabetic. Again, I'm sorry, but a lot of the shit that I'm saying, this is not including if you're diabetic, if you're anemic, if you're fucking, what's the other one? Diabetes? Sorry, fat people. If you're severely obese, this is not, I'm not saying this for you. I'm not saying you can't do it. All I'm saying, talk to your doctor before you consider doing this shit, because this might be a little bit more different for you.
You know what? I kind of want to use this to segue into something else. By all means, nutrition, people. Get you fucking your doses, whatever it needs to be. And if you can go and get the screening, if you've got the free blood test through your insurance, or if you've got a very discounted blood test through your insurance, or if you just got fucking enough money lying around to go get the damn thing, go fucking do it. If you're worried. If you're not, hey, roll the dice, homie. But once you figure that out, by all means, get the supplements that you need and change your diet if you need to. What I was talking earlier about the gut, your gut culture and all that. Part of the thing with breaking down the vegetables and all that is you have to be eating that stuff, or at least taking. There are supplements that you can take. It's basically just dried whatever. But you need that in your gut so that it's feeding the bacteria that will produce this stuff. That seems to be the only downside from the carnivore diet, is that if you're not minding the supplements, if you're not taking in at least a little bit of vegetable matter and fruit and stuff like that, your gut bacteria basically goes straight. Like, what is it? The China study where they were talking about red meat having inflammatory effects and carcinogenic effects and all that. Part of that was based on people who were consuming, I believe it was upwards of like 80 to 90% of their diet was red meat. So that's where that problem was coming in, is they didn't have the gut bacteria that was going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Ameliorate, basically negate the negative byproducts of breaking down the red meat. So mind your gut health, by all means.
Yeah.
But what I was going to get to with you were talking about overweight people. All right. We're broke right now. We have problems. Fortunately, I believe I was reading something earlier that says the supply chain for eggs, paper towels, and toilet paper is back on the menu, boys. But a lot of stuff is a lot of the stuff that people were having a problem finding is slowly making its way back into the markets at usable amounts. But our meat supply is a little fucked right now for various reasons, as well as a lot of produce. I mean, it is what it is. Hey, if you're out of work, it's harvest season, motherfuckers. But, hey, you get plenty of sunshine, get that vitamin D, yo. But my point being is, there is a likelihood that maybe your budget's a little bit strapped, maybe your pantry's a little bit bare. My understanding of a lot of the symptoms of this virus or the disease, which is, all right, the virus is, what is it? SARS something 19, yada, yada. The disease is COVID. I don't remember exactly how that breaks down. But point is, the effects of this seem to have a lot to do with inflammation. The lung, the pneumonia and all that, the congestion, the headaches, the fever, all of this seems to be tissue inflammation that's happening, right? I have not seen anybody seriously looking at this, but it's something that seems to make sense to me, and I'm definitely looking into the intermittent fasting. One of the results of that is reduced inflammation. You know what I mean?
Because you're giving your digestive tract, your digestive system a rest, basically. It rests for 16 hours and it only works for 8. Yep. So you give it a chance to rest.
Well, here's something that I don't see mentioned very often. Your fat cells hold on to nutrients. Yeah. You have vitamin C and vitamin A and all that stuff locked up in your fat cells.
Again, goes back to the point that I made earlier, vitamin D. That's why they're saying that they think, again, it hasn't been fully proven, but they think that vitamin D is very crucial and important because vitamin D is one of the few vitamins that not only do you store it in your fat, but it turns into a hormone. And that hormone then turns into building the defenses that you need to either not contract the virus or fight it off. And, I mean, it sounds harsh, but live to see another day.
Right. So what I'm saying is I have a sneaking suspicion that something like intermittent fasting or just general fasting. I just did a 48-hour fast a couple of days ago for various reasons. I'm basically, for a while there, I was getting lazy as fuck. I killed way too many bottles of vodka and packs of cigarettes in the past month just because I didn't have shit to do. It was simple as that, man. I'm not saying that's a good fucking response to inactivity, but what I'm saying is a fast is a good way to reset your metabolism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it also does kick in. I mean, that's one of the things we've discussed about the intermittent fasting is it will fucking kick up your immune system.
Yeah.
Because
that rule, I didn't make it up. Y'all can Google it as well. And you can find it on a credible source, I'm pretty sure. If you fast and just water, they say you can do water, green tea, and coffee. I say, but I'm not a fucking professional, but I've done it before. I say fast just with water alone for 72 hours. That's what I was gonna say. Not 3 days. There's something about that 72-hour mark exactly that if you fast for 72 hours, it has been scientifically highly proven that you reset your whole system, and that sleep, the way you sleep, the way you eat again, the way you digest food. But one of the first systems that you hit the reset button on is your immune system. So if there was something off with your immune system, do a 72-hour fast, and that's the best way that the doctor described it. It's like hitting the reset button, the reset button on your whole body. I'm not gonna lie, I don't do it often, but I have done it before. I've done it before when I didn't know about it. I did it just to test it. And something that I can tell you that I do remember clearly, no pun intended, because what I'm going to say is that one of the first things I noticed is that your thought process and your mind is not clouded. And I'll be honest with you, on the third day, I felt like naturally high.
Just to point this out, you said the whole 72-hour thing, and it will help reset your sleep cycle, but that is not necessarily the case for about the first 36 to 48 hours. It is very possible that you will have at least a little bit of trouble getting to sleep. That's a natural response from your body because it's basically going, fuck, I don't have the calories. This stupid motherfucker needs to stay up and go get some food. That's a possibility. That doesn't always happen.
So sorry, I forgot to mention I don't know exactly where, but somewhere along the third day, your body and your digestive system kind of, sort of, again, I understand I'm not using proper terminology, but somewhere there, your body hits the autopilot. Your digestive system hits autopilot, and after a while, you just kind of don't.
Dude, when you stop, when you go like 3 days and all this, you're like, why the fuck am I not hungry?
Yeah, exactly.
It'll scare you a little bit.
Yeah, because you won't feel hungry. It's not necessary. Another thing, again, you can Google this shit. Because I actually asked a doctor, like a doctor. I asked him, because I'm a very, in case y'all haven't noticed it yet, I'm a very fucking drastic thinker. I think of like the worst. Like, what's the worst that could happen if I do this shit? Like, for example, if I were to jump off a roof and there's a concrete floor, yeah, I'll die. But if I don't, what's the worst thing that can happen? That's how I think. So my point is, I actually asked the doctor, okay, so cause my thing was a while back, I was thinking of going on a 7-day fast. I was like, I'm really going to do a 7-day fast. I'm only going to do water and that's it. Right. But I was concerned. I was like, cause I'm not going to intake any fucking food for 7 days. It kicked in the back of my head. So what's the worst that can happen? I asked the doctor. First thing the doctor said was, you're a very average, healthy individual. There's nothing really wrong with you. You're not even really overweight. So I don't see the need for you to do that. But if you want to do it, there is some health benefits. And if he told me, so again, my drastic question was, what's the worst that could happen? And I straight out told him, is there anything that can happen that I cannot come back from? And he said, he said, no. As long as you drink water, no. He said, now don't stop drinking water because then that's a problem. But as long as you're drinking water, no. And then I asked him, I was like, can I die? And he looked at me and he laughed like Sean is laughing. And he's like, let me tell you something. There's been tests proven that the human body can go up to 60 days with no solid food before something serious happens. Like at the 60-day mark is when you gotta worry, okay, am I gonna die? Am I not gonna?
I would like to point out, just because, we are trying to cover our basis and not give anybody too much.
Yeah, don't go 60 days without eating. That's not what the fuck I'm trying to say.
Again, asterisk, caveat, motherfuckers, do your own research, but all of this is dependent on the fact you do need body fat on you to do this shit.
Exactly. You can't weigh 120 pounds and try to pull this off. Your weight means a lot.
Unless you're like 4'2".
Exactly. Because think about it. If you don't know, when you deprive your body of calories, again, I'm not a fucking expert, but I know that when you deprive your body of calories, when your body goes into autopilot, it doesn't necessarily mean it goes into autopilot and it's not doing anything as far as food. What your body automatically, second nature, starts to do, it starts to eat at your fat. We all have stored fat. It's just a given. There's no person on the planet that doesn't have stored fat.
By the way, when you hear Freddy say autopilot, a lot of what he's referring to, because we've had this conversation before, when you hear these assholes going, I'm on the keto diet, they're probably not in ketosis. But when you hit like the 48 hour, 72 hour and beyond, your body is for sure in ketosis. Yes. It is eating fat.
Yes. So that's what I was getting at. It starts to eat your fat. So like Sean was saying, if you're skinny, your body does not have basically fat to eat from, right? Now, like the doctor said, even if you don't have fat to eat from, you're still not gonna die. I mean, at least not yet. Because then and you'll see why I'm saying that right now. It sounds funny, but the reason I say that is because
salt too. By the way, and this is something you might do on a regular basis if you find yourself being very dehydrated anyway. Add a little bit of sea salt. Not iodized salt will work, but it's not necessarily the best idea, depending on how much iodine your system has already. But if you can get just some sea salt, just a pinch in a glass of water, say per pint, I think is about the measurement. You do need salt for this. Your body does not keep enough salt in the system to maintain without taking exogenous outside intake.
Yes, so thank you for reminding that and bringing that point. You do need salt for this as well. Again, this is like in extreme cases, but the other thing that happens is when your body runs out of fat to like basically eat at, what it starts to do, it starts to eat away at your muscle. So whatever muscle you got in your body, it tries to, because the reason it starts to eat away at your muscle is because your muscle is the next thing or closest thing to protein that your body has. So it'll start eating away at that. Now, if you don't have muscles, well then that's where it becomes a problem. But then again, this happens if I've asked a doctor. This happens if if you're well into 30 days, 40 days without eating and, stuff like that. So as long as you keep enough water, a little bit of salt, the other very important thing, believe it or not, conserve your energy. And what I mean by conserve your energy is as simple as while you're fasting, if you're going to fast for that long, try to stay put as much as you can. Sit down, lay down, don't work out if you're going to be fasting for a very long time.
Just to throw this in there are some varying opinions on this, but a lot of it has to do with your metabolism and
that's where I was going. Your metabolism and how fast you burn calories.
You're worrying about I believe it's the glutathione or glutamate.
That's the fucking shit.
Glutathione?
That shit is in the bag that you can add.
Okay.
Glutathione is the other thing that's not included. I'm sorry, y'all. I got ADD and shit. But glutathione is what's not included in the infusion bag that you can add, and it's an additional $20 or whatever.
Okay, then that's probably not what the liver produces. But basically, one of the reasons you need carbohydrates in your diet is your liver stores energy in a fashion. It's a glutamate type of. It's basically a processed sugar. That doesn't sound right, but your liver stores it as a fuel source. It uses it to metabolize stuff in your system, and you also use it as an energy source. Now, if you're in ketosis, most of your other systems will be using ketones, like your brain. That's when you were talking about the clarity of thought.
Well, that's
one of the reasons that you do feel a little bit sharper is your brain seems to run. It seems as if your brain runs a little bit smoother on ketones.
Well, there's actually science behind that. The reason as for the mental clarity when you do fasting for more than 72 hours or more is because your body is so clear of toxins, because this is all you're doing. When you're fasting, if you don't know, your body is just getting rid of toxins that it doesn't really need. They've been stored there, and because we toss shit into our body daily, it never really has a chance to get rid of everything.
Again, this goes back to the liver. Your liver will store stuff that it can't process.
Exactly. So what ends up happening is you go 72 hours, you don't eat, and then the mental clarity starts, because after a while, this is another thing that people don't know. you start to naturally produce dopamine. So because you produce dopamine because of the feel that your body gives you, it brings mental clarity. So with mental clarity, you get focus, and you start getting focus because on the same token, your body has spent so much time not focusing on digesting. Because that's another thing people don't know. When your body goes into digestive mode, that you just ate like a big ass meal, right? Especially when you do a carb overload. Your body spends so much muscle and concentration and energy in trying to digest all the shit that you ate, that it basically takes its attention from everything else. And that's why you feel slouchy, you feel sleepy, because all the energy that your body has is now concentrated on digesting the shit that you just ate. So that's why people, and it's the carbs, honestly, the carb overload, that's the reason that after you finishing a big high carb meal, you get sleepy, because all of your energy is now focused on getting this shit out of your body, basically. Literally as well. So now that your body has spent so much time not having to worry about digestive things, then you've given it a rest. And because you've given it a rest, your body now has the natural ability to produce other shit on its own that it should have been producing in the first place. For example, the dopamine, which produces your mental clarity, and you're sharp and you can think and you can concentrate because it's not worried about like having to do any other thing. So that's where I was going with the mental clarity. Again, a side note that I want to throw in there: if you're diabetic, I don't know what other way to say this, but
talk to your doctor.
I don't want to put anybody at risk. But if you're diabetic, don't listen to what I said. This does not apply to you. There is ways to do it, but talk to your doctor. Don't take my word for it. Because from what, again, I understand very little from diabetics, but I don't think y'all can go 3 or 4 or 5 days without eating.
There is a slight caveat to that. And again, talk to your fucking doctor. If you're type 2 diabetic, this type of practice might actually help you. Might. There is limited evidence, and it's contradictory in some places, but there does seem to be a benefit for some people with fasting or reduced calorie intake and alleviating some of the issues with diabetes.
Yeah.
If you're type 1 diabetic, that's a different fucking subject, okay? Again, talk to your doctor.
Yeah. Now I wanted to give the background of like the diet and what you should eat and the vitamins that you should take to take care of your immune system because of the middle of the shit that we're in right now. Look, man, I've never, and this is in total seriousness. This is not a fucking joke. I've never been the type. I don't like telling people what to do. Because for a long time, like I said, I was addicted to alcohol. I was addicted to drugs. And I fucking hated to hear sermons from people of, you shouldn't do this, you're gonna die, you're on a fast track to a graveyard. Look, at the end of the day, you're gonna want to do whatever the fuck you want to do, and nobody's gonna change your mind. But this is my only point. Part of my perspective on all of this changed, and I'm not gonna get fucking religious and ceremonial on this shit, but it changed when I had a daughter. And a lot of us out there have kids, with the exception of Sean. But I'm sure you have nephews and nieces. You might not love them as much or at all. That's a different story. But we have kids, you know. So when I had a kid, it kind of put my shit into perspective. So all I'm saying is, And even as I say this, I understand that there's people that are still not gonna fully comprehend what I actually mean. I'm not saying that you're stupid. I'm not saying that you're ignorant. I'm not saying that reality is not gonna hit you, because people told me this countless times and it didn't hit me till years later, and I'm here now. What I'm saying is, it took me a long fucking time to truly understand that you only get one life and you get one health. Literally, the day that those are gone, you can't fucking replace them. You're done. Like, there's no health replacement. There's no life replacement. So what I'm saying is, if you like to be here on earth with family, friends, whatever, even moderately, just at least take care of your health a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really, just real quick, it really did hit me when it's just like I told my boss, man, like, because she's under that mentality, that, you know, when it's your time, and you die. And if you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. I completely agree with this. So this is my point to that whole thing that I want to make.
Hold on, let's take a quick pause. We've been 2 months since we've done this. I forgot that the camera has a timer on it. We're gonna take a quick pause. We're gonna come right back.
Ah, but it's not out yet, is it?
Huh? Oh no, the video is probably cut out. Y'all are probably staring at a blank screen right now. That's cool. We're gonna switch out the battery real quick. We'll be right back.
Do you think that we're gonna have to wear masks the rest of our life? And I was like, no. I believe science is too advanced for that. So I don't think that we're gonna wear masks the rest of our lives. But I do feel, basically what I'm saying is, I do feel that we're gonna move in a way, we're gonna move differently now. And I feel that when we move differently,
check.
We're gonna move.
Check. Why is that?
We're gonna move in a way. We're gonna move differently for the rest of our lives from here on out until the day we die. Like I said, not unless science has improved dramatically. But I relate it back to the AIDS virus. It improved and you can live with it. But perfect. I mean, it's gonna sound weird, but perfect example. You still can't go fucking everybody without a condom today. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you can still fuck somebody without a condom, and you can hope that you don't catch some shit, but you can't go fucking multiple people without a condom, because you just know that you can't.
Yeah.
As opposed to before we knew what AIDS was, people didn't give a shit, but we didn't give a shit because we didn't know.
I don't think they necessarily didn't give a shit. It was just that AIDS was one of the first ones that, and there are others, but like, there's no outward signs. You can't look at a motherfucker. You can't look at somebody's crotch and be like, some AIDS right there. Whereas like,
well, you got to think about it though. You got to think about. I see what you're saying, but if you really think about it, you kind of can. Why? Because as AIDS.
Okay, let me rephrase this. HIV, AIDS. It's pretty fucking clear when somebody's.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Because.
And that's, to be honest, that's just to point this out, man. You're talking about like the contraceptives and all that. One of the advances we've made is that a lot of people don't get to AIDS. Yeah. They're HIV carriers.
But to be okay, well, that's where I was going. It's because again, I understand it's one of my downfalls, but in a lot of ways, I'm a very black and white type of person. What I mean is,
you don't think about the Asians. I understand.
What I mean is, I'm the type of person that I want to know, can you cure this or not? And if you can't cure it, then it's one of those things that I'd rather have out of sight and out of mind. And I know that that's not the right approach to have. I get it. I completely understand. But I can't help it. Again, relating to AIDS, I know AIDS exists. But I'd rather not think about it. See what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is going to sound totally fucked up. But me, personally, I'd rather ignore it. and pretend like it's not there, which is a lie. It's there and it's not going to go away. But in my mind, I'd rather pretend like it's not there.
Yeah, and we live in one of those areas of the country where every once in a while, like every 5 years or so, we do have like a flare up of HIV.
Yeah, and see that's another thing, which I'm working on a joke about it. But there's people that look at me weird. Literally, they look at me weird when I say that I regularly get checked for HIV. It's like I get checked every 6 months or whatever. And some people tell me,
Be honest, Freddy, you ain't fucking that often.
No, that's where I was going. People say, well, first of all, like you need to be sexually active to contract that shit. So, and according to you, you're not sexually active, so why worry about it? True, but there's the 1, 2, 3, and 4% chance that you can get it from a needle, that you can get it from a blood contraction that you didn't see somewhere. I'm just a very fucking paranoid person. That's why I don't fuck people. Like when it comes to fucking, I'm very like, okay, am I gonna fuck this person? Like all this shit goes through my mind. I'm gonna fuck this person. Where does she come from? Who do I know that she knows? Does she fuck a lot? I'll never really know. Honestly, do I want to take that risk? All of this shit goes through my mind because I'm that paranoid. Because I've seen
I get it. I don't touch bitches with sniffles. I get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I've seen AIDS take the life of people, and I don't want to go through that. You know what I'm saying? One of the best examples is Eric Wright, Eazy-E, died a horrible death. Like the history, the biographical picture, they don't really paint it because in a lot of movies, they just tell you he contracted AIDS, landed in the hospital, and died. There's very few books that actually depict the detailed portrait of what he actually went through when he had the AIDS. Like he suffered a lot when the virus, because the virus went from HIV to AIDS quick. It was like a month's transition, right?
Really?
Yeah. Because
I was under the impression that he'd been dealing with at least the HIV infection for a couple of years by the point that he landed in the hospital.
Well, the story is that they don't know. What the doctor said, because you got to remember, back then, testing wasn't as accurate, and the tracking of the advancement of the disease wasn't as accurate. So the first-hand doctor that he dealt with says that he believes that because it was never treated, because that was another thing, the HIV was never treated, because they say that he didn't know that he had it, and he never got checked.
Right.
So it went from, that's why they believe that it went from HIV to AIDS rather quickly. So by the time he got it, the other piece of the story that people don't know is that he lived with AIDS, the actual AIDS virus, for an extended period of time.
Really?
And then he died. So
that major confusion on my part. I thought once he had started getting the immune deficiency symptoms, all that comes along with it, I thought that progressed very quickly.
No, that's what I'm saying. It did, but when he was going through the actual symptoms, he experienced those for a prolonged period of time.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So then, because what they show you in movies and in books, they basically show you he got HIV a month later. I'm hypothetically speaking, but a month later he got AIDS, and then he ended up in a coma. That's what you see everywhere,
right?
As far as what they portray in his life.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen that way. Like he experienced a prolonged period of time with the AIDS virus, and then because you got to remember when he already had AIDS, this is why I'm not clear. I don't know if he was already HIV positive or he already had full-blown AIDS. He got his wife pregnant or the girlfriend pregnant, right? In that period, he got the girlfriend pregnant. He had a daughter. So when the wife found out that he had AIDS, her major concern is,
did it pass to the kid?
Do I have it? And is my kid gonna have it?
Okay.
Miraculously, she didn't contract it, and the kid didn't contract it, but he already had it.
Okay, now, to tie this back in with our current position, viral load is seriously a high factor in A, transmission, and B, severity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the, when you hear shit.
That's why the front end nurses and doctors, that's why they're dying, because they're getting that shit by the load daily. Like, and it's too much.
Dude, that's one of the things that is maddeningly. We're already recording, man. We're already recording.
Shit.
That's one of the things that's maddeningly frustrating when you start hearing about.
So wait, my Eric Wright story is going to be.
We've just been talking about AIDS for about 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, but okay, I didn't even fucking. Okay,
I may have missed the first part of it, but yeah, we're back in. But when you hear about nurses and physicians being laid off or temporarily, furloughed or however they want to put it, to basically, go home and maybe we'll pay you type of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, look, all right, think about it this way. I briefly touched on the whole thing about we're having problems with the meat supply right now.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that has to do with...
By the way, breaking news, I just want to break that out there right now. It just happened 10 minutes ago. The House just passed the $3 trillion...
Fuck.
They just passed that bill. So now,
weasels.
Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't know the way your government works, it now goes to the president's desk.
Hey, you know what?
To be signed, is that correct? Or does it go to the Senate?
No, it goes to the Senate. It's got to go to the Senate.
No, hold on.
Yeah, the House was the one that was putting...
Who gets it first?
The House has to pass financial... Anything to do with finance, the House has to have first pass.
Okay, so the House got the bill first.
If the House passed it, it's going to the Senate.
Okay, so now its second phase is going to the Senate, and I believe, from what I read before, go check yourself, but from what I read before, because of the crucial time, I believe they have 24 to 48 hours to if it is going to pass. They have 24 to 48 hours to vote and pass it or decline it so that it moves. And from there, it goes to the president.
Then it goes to the president for veto. By the way, anybody who didn't pass government class in school, or you just haven't been fucking paying attention, you hear $3 billion. That this is not a good thing. You can argue with me if you want. We are fucked. We are currently, was it 30 trillion in fucking...
No, I don't think it's 30 trillion yet. I think we're up to 26.
26 trillion?
We're pretty close.
Either way,
I think, if I'm not mistaken, when he took office, we were at 19 or 20, right?
Oh yeah, we have doubled the debt. And this is... and it hasn't helped. They've done jack all. Fuck them. If I could take Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi out in a boat and just toss them overboard with a brick on their feet and get away with it, I might. But that's just my fantasy. But what I'm just saying, pay attention to your fucking your Congress critters. But one you need to be paying attention to, that's probably going to pass. They're probably going to fucking pass the damn bill. They're going to borrow more money, print up more fucking, injection from the fucking Fed and all that shit. And you might get $1,200 in the mail. Maybe. If your taxes are in order. You might get it next year when it's fucking useless. Who the fuck knows? But one you do need to be paying attention to is, and I haven't tracked it down enough. I was seeing red when I read it, but there is currently a bill that has already passed the Senate. Fuck Bernie Sanders. He didn't even bother to show his goofy ass up to vote on it, along with another ones. Corn from here in Texas, surprisingly, voted against it. Good for him. But basically, they're going to give power to the FBI and CIA, which makes no fucking sense, to basically do warrantless browser history searches domestically. So basically, all that goofy shit you were looking up online, they can look at it without even a warrant. They don't need to prove shit to a FISA court. They don't need to go through a process.
I just want to throw something in there. I understand fully Sean's concern.
Anger. It's not concern. It's anger.
What I'm gonna throw out there, and this may sound insensitive to a lot of y'all, but I'm not really planning on blowing up the country, so I'm not too worried.
No, man, but it's never. It's not about that.
I understand. Like I understand the invasion of privacy. I understand violation of human rights. I get it, but I'm gonna say something that I've been saying for a long time, for a very, very, very fucking long time, way before this administration came into office, way before the previous administration came into office. This is point blank period. You can disagree with me if you'd like. The people watching, whatever. The United States government, if they really want to do it, they can look into whatever the fuck they want whenever they want. They can let you know that they're looking at you, and they can not let you know that they're looking at you. If they really want to do it, they're gonna do it regardless. This is my point to that. And this is where half of the country probably disagrees with me. Is it a violation of human rights? Yes, it is. The point is that honestly, people, they don't care. If they feel that it's in their best interest, and at this point, we don't know what their best interest is, but I can almost guarantee you that it's not our best interest. Mm-hmm. They're not in it for the interest of the people. Sorry to break it to you. I'm just giving you a cold fact. You can disagree with me if you want. But it's time and time again they've shown that they don't really care.
Quote the great George Carlin, they don't give a shit about you.
Exactly. So my only point is this. I understand violation of human rights. I get it. Is it right? No, it's not. But the fact of the matter is that they've been doing it, and they've more than likely are not telling us, and they haven't been telling us. Now the only difference is that now, because I feel technology is so advanced and it's so out there and everybody can see everything, there's social media, everybody picks up a fucking phone and they can see basically into everybody else's life. Because technology has exposed everything so much to the public like that, now it's more in the public eye. But I truthfully feel that they've always been doing it. They were just more incognito about it before. So my point is, and again, you can disagree with me if you want. I'm completely fine with that. My point is, if you're really not planning to do anything harmful to the country or anything like that, you really have nothing to worry about. The other problem with that is, this is the funny part, you might laugh at it, but it's the truth. The only other thing that you got to worry about is if you're somebody like R. Kelly. The reason I say that is, if you're into kiddie porn, if you're into some freaky shit in your pornography, then worry about it.
All right, let me throw this out there. I think we're all in agreement that if there is a legal means by which those records can be accessed, like if they can go to a court and say, we have suspicion that this motherfucker is doing some heinous shit, some illegal shit, some shit that needs to be dealt with, let us access this information. And again, because we are in the digital age, all that shit's there. Let's be clear about that. All your information, anything you've ever done on an electronic device, they got it. Okay? That's like, it's there. But
why do you think if I stay here on this microphone right now and I say knife, 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 knife like 10 times, I'm going to open my phone and I'm more than sure that I'm going to start getting advertisements for knives, hunting knives and different shit, because they're whether you like it or not, they're listening to everything.
No. But here's what I'm saying. Illegal shit. there should be a method within the law to go after the discovery, what's the word I'm looking for here? The information needed to prosecute somebody under the laws as they stand. But with this, because they don't have to prove suspicion of a crime, they can basically just go and look whenever they want. Let me throw a fucking hypothetical at you. Let's say we've got a bright young, let's say old Beto out of fucking El Paso hadn't been a raging jackass. Let's say he'd been a decent folk and not just a jumped up fucking cheerleader. So he goes on. He wants to be fucking senator. He wants to be fucking president. But occasionally on the weekends, he likes to look at tranny porn. Be a shame if that information got out there in the public. Him being a married man with a family and a good Christian type of individual. Be a real shame if his, reputation was tarnished. And you don't have to trace that back to the FBI. You just gotta let it out there.
But okay.
Okay, that's an extreme scenario.
No, it's not. It's not an extreme scenario. I see what you're pointing at, and I see where you're going. But I'm gonna give you a perfect example where the current president. There is, and I'm not going to go look.
Oh, well, dude, this whole incident with Flynn is not far off from this.
You're more than welcome to go search it yourself. I'm not going to do it. But I know for a fact where there is pictures somewhere online, because the online fucking place it's a very vague place. Somewhere online, I know you can find real pictures that were not photoshopped where our current sitting president is in, let's just say, very compromising positions with first members of his own family. But my point being is that he is the president of the United States. These pictures were there before he was president. Mm-hmm. He's going to run again. And I've never supported the guy, and I probably never will. I've made that very vocal. But he's probably going to run again, and I'm pretty sure he's more than likely going to win, because I really don't think that Biden stands a chance. But that's a different story.
By the way, any of y'all out there that do have some sort of hope for the Democratic Party at the moment, you need to look into the fact that they have made statements recently to the effect that they're not going to nominate Biden. Basically, the convention will be a primary, a miniaturized, condensed primary. They are going to nominate somebody else. If they do nominate Biden, they're fucking fools. If they nominate somebody else, they're fucking fools. They've been fucking fools the whole fucking time. Fuck them and the GOP. I'm sorry, that was just me. Go ahead.
So this dude that's in the White House right now, he's more than likely going to win again. Unfortunately or fortunately, whatever fucking side you want to look at it from. So my point being is that he has a very, very, very shady history behind him. But there's been, that was already there, and he became president. My point is that at the end of the day, no matter what you did or what you do, even your fucking experience, again, perfect example with the man that's sitting there right now, doesn't matter what you did or what you do, if they really want to put you in that seat, meaning as the president of the United States, you're gonna end up there.
Right, but where I was getting at with the example before, and it's not just politics, by the way. I mean, we're well aware now that the FBI tried to blackmail many people throughout its fucking history. I mean, most notably, I guess, publicly would be the Martin Luther King thing. Martin Luther King.
By the way, let's not forget that the CIA convinced Ricky Ross to bring drugs into the country. But we all
No. They convinced his connect to bring drugs into the country,
same fucking difference. Same.
Hey, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, motherfucker. I'm just saying, my point is that they, as you said, they already could if they wanted to, but the catch was there. They had to, because of the law, they had to be careful. Let's say they had to be. They couldn't just come out and go, "Hey, we found some shit." You know what I mean? Because somebody would go, "How the fuck did you find that?" It's not like that was lying around. What the fuck did you do? What kind of greasy shit were you motherfuckers up to that you meant? And that's not. They've just eroded. I mean, first of all, we've lived for the last fucking 19 years under the Patriot Act.
That's why,
which they just renewed.
That's why, again, to prove my point again, and this discussion here yet again proves it. When it comes to breaking the law, if we break it, it's breaking the law. If they break it,
and look,
it's
man,
politics,
I just want them to have extra steps to fuck me. You know what I'm saying?
But they're still gonna fuck you, bro.
Like, look, think about it. Think about it this way: you're running through a hallway full of rapists. Before this, you at least had some pants on. They have now taken your fucking pants off. There is one less layer of protection between your ass and a raping.
First of all,
well, you thought that was a little too extreme?
First of all, I can't run, so I'm fucked anyway. No pun intended. But
they still have to get your pants off.
But no, man. I mean, like I said,
you know what I'm saying,
understand.
Though, right?
I understand your concern. It's my concern too. Don't think it's not my concern, because this is the world that my kid is gonna live in. But I've come to grips with the reality that they're gonna fucking do it anyway, and they have been doing it. Again, people, I'm a very black and white, straight to the point type of person. I tried to cut through as much of the bullshit as I possibly can. So there's a lot of shit in this country, and for the hardcore patriots of this fucking country, I'll say it like this so it doesn't hurt your feelings. In this country and every other country, and yes, I know that there's other countries that are worse than ours. I get it. But point being, there's a lot of shit in this country that they've been doing for a long time, that it's shady as fuck. They've been fucking us over for a long time, and they're gonna continue doing it. What can you do? Just do your best to be the best possible human being that you can. If you like to watch porn, nobody's telling you you can't watch porn. But just stick to the regular shit. Titties in a fucking
you know what?
ice machine.
That's a silver lining. You
know what I'm saying?
Fuck secrets. If you like freaky shit, if you like a little bit of weirdness in your life,
yeah,
live it out loud. Because frankly, at this point, you ain't got much of a fucking chance of hiding that shit.
I mean, people like to pee on people. I mean, ask R. Kelly.
I mean, unless Shane.
But I mean, if you're 21, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah,
you gonna pretend like you did that shit on accident and shit. Oh shit, you're 21. Never mind. I'm kidding. People, as a joke. Some people do like to be peed on though. I know some people. I never peed on anybody though. Not on purpose.
Look, if you walk into somebody's bedroom and they have a plastic tarp in the corner, just ask some questions. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, I had a plastic tarp on my roof, but that's because possums were pissing on me. That's a different story. That wasn't by choice. Anyway, I really think we were just talking about this off air. I really didn't want to go down this route because I was telling Sean that this was very well, I could already see that this was going to go into a 2-episode type of series type of thing. And I am going to give you a preview what's to come in the next episode, just in case the people that are still watching that have not broken their fucking mobile device or whatever the fuck you're watching on this.
Yeah, we had too many subscribers anyway. Some of y'all motherfuckers need to go away.
So Sean said that, I didn't. So I love each and every one of y'all. Anyway,
what's wrong with tough love?
So what I'm saying is, what I did wanna, and we're not gonna get into it right now because it's a whole full-blown conversation that we don't have time or battery for at the moment. So what's to come in the next one that I did want to get into as well, it was important to me cause it's important to me and myself as a human being that we talked about what you can do to protect your health as much as you can. Look, the honest truth about it nobody's told you yet, honestly, if you're gonna catch this thing, you're gonna catch it, and there's no way around it.
I'll go one step further. You're gonna catch it.
So, the question and the thing that you have to think about now is, what can you realistically do to try your best to survive it? Is what you should focus on. So that's why I felt that nobody was talking about. Everybody was saying stay away, social distancing, don't talk to people, don't integrate with people, don't fucking come close, keep your distance, whatever. But I felt nobody was talking about take care of your immune system, eat right, and that's why I felt it was very important that at least us, with a small amount of viewers that see us, that we kind of shed light on the little bit that we know or that we've read as far as how to take care of your immune system. And just because I lean back on the fact that you only get one body, one health, if you want to take care of it, we're trying to tell you or give you some ideas on how. If you really by this point don't give a shit, then I'm not going to try to change mine. It's your body, it's your life, you know what the fuck you do with it, and that's up to you. I'm not here to hammer you with a sermon, like I said. But this is why I felt that it was important that we touched on how to take care of your body, how to take care of your immune system if you really care about it, and how to go about it when you're broke, because you're getting advice from a broke person. So I'm in this shit with you.
This ain't theoretical.
Exactly. I'm experiencing this shit. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. But what's going to come, I guess, in the next episode that we do, and I want to talk to you about that off camera to kind of figure out the next episode, but
figure out where our legal liabilities are.
but
we have to talk to Willie, our lawyer.
But the next episode is, I did want to talk about, I don't want to talk about the politics of it, because I stand by the same thing that I stood by with every other fucking political issue, whether it was money, whether it was gay marriage, whether it was whatever. Every time the government gets involved in anything, they fuck it up. They don't make it better. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel. But anyway, I didn't want to get into that. What I really wanted to get into was what life thereafter, basically. What is living life after we kind of sort of get through this shit? And I say it that way because I hate to be the one to break it to you if nobody else has done it, but this shit is not gonna go away. It's here to stay, and we have to learn to live with it. So at this point, we're trying to figure out how can we not die from this shit? But this is gonna be here like the flu stayed, like the fucking, what's the other one? The H1, remember the H1N1? Yeah. That shit is still here, but we don't shed light on it anymore because we're dealing with this shit. So all of them shits are still here. But we need to learn how to deal with it and figure out a way to like not die or lose people on a daily fucking basis. One last thing that I want to throw out there, cause I have had few people hit me up on my phone, the ones that have my number and shit, that I almost forgot to mention, and I don't want to forget before we get off air. Yes, I've been off social media. I'm not that important. I understand I'm not a celebrity. I get that. But there has people that have been hitting me up on my phone, have been wondering why I disappeared off social media. And it's very simple. One,
sick of hearing their shit.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head of the nail. I'm sick of hearing the same fucking shit, same lame ass fucking memes, same jokes. You motherfuckers are not original. I just kept hearing the same shit, and they got old really quick. Now, some of it is my fault because I got like over 1,000 friends on my shit, but it's just my timeline was just flooded with that shit, and it just got the honest truth. It just got fucking annoying. So I was like, you know what? I'm turning this shit off. So what I did was I didn't delete my Facebook account. I just deleted the app off my phone. So my account, I believe, is still there. I'm just not on it. I also deleted the Messenger account for the same reason. Fucking stupid people were sending me memes directly on my fucking messages. So I got rid of that shit too. I'm still on Instagram. In case y'all want to get a hold of me on Instagram, I'm still on that shit. The reason that I decided to stay on Instagram is because Instagram, at least from what I looked at up until today, is still not that bad. There's some bullshit on it, but it's not that bad. So I'm on Instagram. Y'all can hit me on Instagram. For the people that do have my number, y'all can still fucking text me. Y'all can call me if you want. For the ones that don't have my number, it's probably because I didn't want you to have my number. But the ones that do, you can shoot me a text. The ones that don't, find me on Instagram. So I just wanted to throw that out there because there has been people that texted me and wondering where I've been and shit. I'm here. I'm alive for the most part. And I just wanted to throw that out there. So I just wanted to talk about the health part of it. In the next episode, I would like to be able to kind of get Sean's take on what life would be thereafter. I don't want to get in. Like, I have my
Fred, let me throw this in here real quick, man. And this has to do with not only now, not only afterwards, but also not only us, but what we do expect from the government. And I know this is some people are not.
I got to the point a long time ago that I stopped expecting shit from the government a long time ago.
Let me throw it at you this way, because I'm not saying this is
I was going to make a point on that right now, but go ahead.
This is just a reframing that has helped me. I mean, in some ways frustrated me, but may help some of y'all recontextualize some of this shit. Stop thinking about what can be done and and instead kind of consider what you need to stop doing. And I don't mean stop going out. I mean stop fucking being irresponsible with your activity. Again, I brought up earlier the whole idea of, fuck it, I got a minor cold. Maybe I'll pop in and go, do my thing anyway. I'm not that fucking bad, yada, yada. Be responsible for your shit. And as far as government goes, consider what could have been done in the negative for here. And I don't mean negative as in negative results. I mean negative as in what would have happened if they'd have just not had an income tax this year? Just didn't take our money. Or maybe just gave back. If you already paid in January, what if they just gave it back to you and, you're good?
They did give it back to me.
$1,200?
No. They gave me back my income tax.
They gave you back your income tax. You did not have to pay income taxes this year.
Yeah.
Are you talking about your return?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about your return.
Oh.
That's the return. By the way, people, if you don't understand that, a return is basically the amount over what you paid. That's all a return is. Okay?
Yeah, they basically give you...
They overcharged you.
They basically give you 3 months out of 12 months. Y'all do the math, but then that's a rip-off to me, but that's a different story.
The point is, part of the reason that our tax system is so fucked is because they make you estimate... They know how much you need to pay them, or how much they expect you to pay them. But most people end up overpaying on their taxes, and then they give you some back. That's why you don't always get a return. But what I'm saying is, if they had just said outright, we're not, just think about it. If they've already injected trillion, however much the fucking Fed has quantitatively eased back into the system by supplying currency to the banks, they could have done that across the board for the government and instead just been like, hey, you guys keep your money this year. We're going to have some tight times. That's not what they've done. All they've done is either pushed it down the line or fucking... Look, if somebody steals $100 from you and then goes, you know what, man, I know you got it. Here's 40. Fuck you. You still stole 60 from me, you piece of shit. So, again, we'll talk about that later. But I'm saying just in the meantime, consider the framework of what you can just stop doing. Because everybody's running around going, well, like, I need to do this. I need to do that. Some of it you do. Some of it will be beneficial. Sometimes you just need to stop doing stupid fucking shit or unnecessary shit. And by all means, stop doing that stupid and unnecessary shit. Because the government ain't. They're going to keep fucking around and doing all kinds of nonsense.
That's kind of where I was going with it. I was going with it to the fact that...
Dude, okay, just by the way, as I've said on this podcast before, I am not a fan of Greg Abbott, the illustrious governor of Texas. But one of the things that I got to give the man credit for is a lot of the things that were done, okay, along with, all right, they closed down the bars, right? But they started allowing the restaurants to do takeout alcohol deliveries.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying...
I thought that was illegal. But
it is illegal, but that's what I'm saying, is they've basically waived the illegality of that. They did a negative. They basically went, what can we stop doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. We're basically incentivizing people to add to their workload. We're not incentivizing people in a way that is alleviating the burden upon them. And that's really what I think is going to be beneficial. Again, I'm a fucking crazy asshole. Don't fucking pay attention to me if you don't want to, but I'm just saying, consider both sides of that when you're thinking about what steps can be taken for your benefit, for the benefit of those around you, for the benefit of your greater community. One thing I was going to bring up earlier, I very briefly mentioned the anti-inflammatory side of things as far as the virus. There's at least some evidence that cannabis seems to be beneficial, at least on some level, and which would make sense.
Because the anti-inflammatory particles that it has to help you alleviate.
Probably also makes people a little bit less anxious. Yeah. But I'll be honest, if fucking Abbott had come out fucking, it's like, hey, we're going to allow takeaway alcohol sales and weed's legal. That didn't happen. It's not going to happen. The motherfucker has stated time and time again he won't legalize. He will not. That's what he said. Will not ever legalize under his administration. So on that level, that gimpy motherfucker can go fuck himself and his wheelchair. No, in his wheelchair is what I'm saying. More uncomfortable that way. But my point being is there are things we need to do and things we need to stop doing. And there are things we need to start looking at. One example that everybody keeps talking about Sweden because they didn't lock down. They barely did anything in Sweden as far as taking precautions on this. Now, one of the issues, you hear a lot of the death in Sweden and in Canada as well. A lot of the problem was the elderly homes or the assisted living homes. They were overcrowded. The way they were running the systems was the concentration of people was too dense. So once you get an infectious disease in there, just bam, wipes it out. Apparently, Ontario is having a huge problem with their assisted living homes at the moment. And to any Canadian out there who thinks they're doing better than the Yanks, you can go yank yourself. Your government just took away more of your rights. Anyway, one of the things you heard was in Sweden, I think. No, it wasn't Sweden. Fuck, Belarus maybe. No, that ain't right. Fuck it. Anyway, the point was there were a couple of suggestions that went out there that were basically go take a hot sauna. Which sounds like pure fucking nonsense until you consider the fact that one part of the body's defensive mechanism against this seems to be fever.
Yeah.
And two,
that was another thing that Dr. Rhonda Patrick really stressed on her podcast with Joe Rogan. was that there are a lot of top health professionals are overlooking the fact of the great benefits of sauna therapy. There is something about heat shock proteins that really benefit the body when you have any kind of virus in the body. But there's, again, it's one of those things that like Rhonda said, like nobody's talking about. And I think they do need to do more research and shed more light on it, because I think there is something very beneficial. Just like the whole vitamin D conversation. I think, and again, I tend also to lean more towards towards these options, because there's a more natural way of approaching this. Because the fact of the matter is that there is already enough chemical shit that is being dumped into our food, being dumped into our body. We don't need another fucking pill, antibiotic, medicine because that's where we're going. Like the once the vaccine comes out, because I know the vaccine's gonna come out for damn sure. Like the pharmaceutical industry is gonna boom, and guess who's gonna benefit? Not you, not me, but the top pharmaceuticals. Because like I've mentioned before, I've said it time and time again, the money is in the treatment, not in the cure. So again, this shit is here to stay. So their best thing to do is create the treatment, because they want to keep you on that shit for as long as they can, so that they can squeeze every penny out of whoever they squeeze it out of for as long as they can.
And on a similar angle to that, look at how much conversation is going around about who's going to be able to profit from a vaccine. You know, it's who's going to get the contracts for the treatment, the cure, the whatever. And it's like, okay, but what are we doing right now? And two, what can you do as an individual yourself? Which, by the way, when we're talking about the anti-inflammatory and all that, none of this is going to, let's say, directly alleviate the virus. What it's going to do is help your body deal with the virus. Again, this isn't going away. You're going to catch it. The question is, how much of a response is your body going to have to it, and how able are you going to be to recover from it? And that's where the nutrition, the vitamins, like you said, with D, a lot of that seems to be not necessarily in preventing infection, but in alleviating the results of that infection. And
correct.
Yeah.
It all comes from that. That's where I was going to cap this part of the conversation off, at least on my end. That it all comes down to, again, it's very simple, but I know that as human beings we struggle with it. I'm right there with you, because I love to eat, I love foods, I love candy, all the bad shit I love, so I get it. But what it boils down to is eating right and getting the right vitamins and supplements into your body. Like I said, if you can afford it, the best way to go that they've seen as far as immune health, again, not battling the virus, not curing the virus, not ejecting the virus out of your system, but just strengthening your immune system so you can give it a chance to battle this fucking thing, is vitamin drips. I understand people cannot afford them. I'm one of them. But the way I started to think about it was, I spend a lot more money on other stupid shit on a monthly basis, that I started to figure out I can cut a lot of that shit out and invest this into my health. So I don't know if I mentioned it before. You can maybe remind me, but I want to get point blank period down to it. When you do a vitamin drip, I found a place in McAllen. I believe they're called the Uptown Vita Health Clinic. Google it. Just put Uptown Health Clinic, and you'll see it's on 10th Street for the people that are from McAllen, and if you're from the Valley, it's on 10th Street where Pepper's restaurant is at. So that is the cheapest clinic that I found, and they do vitamin drips for $130. And like I did mention before, I asked the nurse there, what is the recommended times that you do the treatment? They did say that they recommend twice a month. I get it. It can be pricey. I can't afford twice a month. I just can't. That's $260 that I don't have on a monthly basis. But she did say that you can hack getting it once a month. And $130 a month, believe me, you spend $130, I guarantee you, on a monthly basis, on stupid shit. I used to spend $390 on fast food on a monthly basis. Just on fast food on a monthly basis. I'm proud to say now I don't spend that much because during this quarantine I really learned how to cook. So now
Congratulations.
I've been cooking. That's the other thing I was going to tell you, man. That's something that I did get out of this quarantine. I have not eaten fast food since March 30th.
Dude,
the reason I know March 30th is because I was going over my banking statement, and that is the last transaction that I saw for fast food, which I still remember what it was. I had a large Little Caesars pizza with pepperoni on March 30th. Since then, I've been eating nothing but steak, chicken, and rice. My diet's pretty simple. And no, I don't get tired of it. I love steak.
By the way, just as an anecdote to part of my issue with the response that we've had as far as the shutdown, when the first month, I would say, of this, when they started the lockdown shit, I had stopped smoking cigarettes probably a couple weeks beforehand. I'd gotten back into doing the vape on a regular basis. I wasn't, basically my lungs were clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then because of the limitations, because of the public stuff, anyway, the shop I was going to buy my juice basically had to limit their hours. I mean, severely limit their hours. They were only open for 5 hours a day and only 5 days out of the week. And all this shit, you got to pre-order and show up. Anyway, it was enough of a hassle that I just said, fuck it, and went back to smoking cigarettes. As I said earlier, I fucking killed quite a few packs of cigarettes and bottles of vodka. I don't regret the vodka. There is at least some limited evidence to suggest that alcohol, not all alcohol, but alcohol ethanol, does have at least some sort of medicinal effect. To a certain extent, you can abuse that. Don't get goofy, motherfuckers. But it has long been a tradition, it has been a traditional treatment for many things, bacterial infections and viral. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. Go do your own research. I'm just saying. I don't regret the vodka. But I started smoking the cigarettes again and just went down a wrong path. You know what I mean? It wasn't I'm trying to remember if I was telling you about that, man, but I've been off cigarettes for about a week at this point. Cause finally I got to the point where I was waking up in the morning and I started coughing and I was like, oh shit, my paranoia kicked in. And then I realized I was hocking up fucking tar balls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've been a smoker. You know what it's like.
Hell yeah.
And I'm just saying that, again, anytime you or you're hearing about things that are going on politically, societally, consider the motivations. What are you motivating yourself and other people to do by these actions? And I mean, it's not a big thing. I could have fucking, extended myself and gone and gotten the fucking, the e-juice. I say I'm a nicotine addict. That's not necessarily true. I just really fucking enjoy nicotine. It does. I receive a benefit myself from the use of nicotine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because you make it that little bit more difficult, and there are plenty of examples of this in society. If you make it just that much more difficult, I'm going to go the easy path. I'm a lazy asshole. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I'm a human being. I will take the easy path unless I am motivated in some fashion. Waking up and coughing up tar balls definitely is a bit of motivation. But I'm saying to you, just consider the motivations that you are, one, the motivations of those that are acting, and two, the motivations that they are eliciting through their actions. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Don't be stupid. to quote Philip DeFranco, don't be stupid. Before we close this out, I do want to end.
What are we at?
We're coming up on the second hour right now.
Oh, okay.
I do want to mention some positive shit.
It's not HIV.
Obviously, I think at this point, both of us are kind of, you haven't mentioned it, but like, you're awfully quiet, Freddy.
There's something that I did want to mention. Y'all can laugh if you want, but this is some true shit. So I want to say, I really wanted to mention it on air and shit. So I want to say about 3 weeks ago now, I woke up in the morning and I literally coughed 5 times. I know it was 5 times because I counted them. I coughed 5 times and I absolutely fucking panicked. And it was when this shit was like at its peak and shit. So I was like, holy shit, I done caught some shit, so I didn't want to take a chance. So I actually got tested. So by now, I'm hoping that at least you have an idea where you can go to get tested. If you don't, UTRGV, I just want to let you know, UTRGV is doing free testing. They're still doing it now. So if you want to get checked just to be sure, or if you, like myself, if you feel you might have caught some shit, you can go and get tested. Just Google it, COVID-19 testing, and it's one of the first ones that's going to come out, UTRGV testing. There's a 1-800 number. You schedule your appointment. They call you sometimes back during the same day, and they schedule your appointment. It's usually no more than 3 days out. So I got tested, and I'm still here, so I came out negative. And Sean is still here. I wouldn't be a dick and be like, "Hey, I got it, motherfucker." So no, I came out negative, but I did panic.
What he doesn't tell you is he gave me the old Italian fucking double kiss on the cheek when I walked in the door, and I was like, "Motherfucker." By the way, on that same vein, if you're not following, obviously we're here in Hidalgo County in Texas. If you're not following your county's the social media, whether you're doing the Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. Right now, Hidalgo County is starting, I think they started yesterday, but they're doing spot testing centers. I think today was in Edinburgh at an elementary school. I don't know where tomorrow, but they're doing this in phases. I think the first phase is going to run through the 19th, and then they're going to start a second phase after that. But it's the.
Well, I'll do you one. I'll do you one better. Again, if you're following your local social media shit, as of today, actually, it actually just happened today. Today they have. I don't know if it's a drive-through, because that's actually what they are. They come to your car. They do all the testing there. I'll be honest with you. I felt like I was purchasing something illegal when I pulled up. I was like, holy shit, it's giving me flashbacks. Ma'am, is this legal? I was like, oh shit, she's just going to check. And by the way, there are actually nurses and doctors that go see you. Because I asked her, I was like, ma'am, this is some serious shit. I don't want to be disrespectful. I would much rather talk to a doctor. And she told me, in her fucking scrubs and fucking all the shit she was wearing, she was like, I am a doctor. And I was like, no, ma'am, are you a doctor, or are you a nurse? No disrespect.
She said that, I'm just picturing like some Darth Vader. Oh, I am your doctor.
Yeah, man. So she was like, no, I'm a doctor. So I asked her quick questions, the regular shit. If I do have it, what are the chances that, again, I'm a drastic fucking thinker. So I told her, before you test me, if I do have it, what are the likeliness that I'm gonna die and shit? I literally said that. I was like, what's the likeliness I'm gonna die? And how can I prevent from dying or minimizing my chance? So
dramatic motherfucker.
She answered all those questions and shit. So what I was gonna say was, if you're following your local social media shit, as of today, they have drive-through centers now open in Mission, Mercedes, and Edinburgh because of the UTRGV. And there's one more: Mission, Mercedes, Edinburgh, and Westlaco, I believe. They now have drive-through centers. The way that works, if you haven't gotten tested yet, you stay in your car. Do not get off, because if you get off, they'll fucking treat you like a raid from the FBI and shit. So don't get off your car. Do not lower your window, because I almost made that mistake, because they panic the shit when you lower your window and they don't tell you to. So don't lower your window. Just pull up. Everything is with hand signals, and they got signs everywhere. They literally instruct you with signs. Move forward. Stay here. And then they ask you, with signs, all of this is with signs. They ask you, do you have an appointment? You nod your head. And then they ask you, what is your name? You literally have to put your ID against the glass. They read your name. And then, if your name's on the list, they give you a thumbs up and you move forward. It is not to the point that you actually meet with a nurse or doctor that you can lower your window. And it's real quick. It's like less than a minute. They ask you real quick questions. Have you been out of the country? Have you been on vacation? Have you come in contact with anybody that you feel has COVID-19? If you answered yes or no to any of those questions, they swab your nose, and they literally come back like in 15 minutes. And they don't give you your results. That's how they do the test. They have you sign a waiver. It's free. There's no charge to your insurance, at least not as of now. But it's free, and you get results within 3 to 4 days. I got my results in 3 days. So and like I said, I came out negative, but that's normally, I'm just telling you what to expect if you go and get tested. Because when I went like a blind man looking for his favorite porno. I didn't know what the fuck to expect. So that's basically the rundown of what you're gonna do. So I'm serious though. I literally mean it. Do not fucking lower your window, because they will fucking panic. It's like if you pulled a gun. It's worse than if you were to pull a gun on them at this point. So don't lower your window. Just follow the instructions. They're gonna have fucking signs everywhere on telling you what to do.
Look, that's one thing I would like to mention. You're gonna run into a lot of people that are either A, ignoring this, or B, not being as overly concerned as you might think they should be. Maybe they're in a situation like Freddy said, man, fucking some people are fucking, they don't go out anyway. They're not going into crowds. They're not putting themselves in these situations that are going to put them at major risk.
That's what I was telling y'all, man. Like I understand I'm a unicorn. I understand I'm different. I'll be frank, for the people that don't know me, I'll be very frank with you. I understand it sounds totally fucked up, but it's the truth. I don't care for interaction with people. If I could be left alone on an island for the rest of my life with just an endless supply of food, I'm straight. I don't need to see another human being. But then again, I understand I'm a special case. I understand 99% of the world is not like me. But what I'm saying is, don't put your health and your life or other people's life at risk just because you're so eager to have an interaction with somebody else. Do it if it's essential, and I guarantee you at some point things are going to get back to semi-normal. And I say semi-normal because I really do mean that. I really don't think that we're going to go back to living the way we were, but I'm not going to get into that. Like I said, we'll talk about that on the next episode. But just do it for now. Make it as safe as possible for everything else. The last thing I want to give.
By the way, just to put the second half on what I was saying, if you run into somebody who is, say, taking less precaution than you think they should,
punch them in the face.
That's going to put you.
I'm kidding. I don't condone violence.
That's going to put you closer than 6 feet to them. I wouldn't recommend that. But consider that maybe they're not necessarily as. Maybe they have considered this and they're not just being fools. But on the other side of that, if you're dealing with, I don't care if it's a cashier at a fucking store, dude, some of this bullshit where you're hearing people getting fucked with for wearing masks, for taking these precautions. Fuck those people. The people that are fucking with them. Like, take into consideration the people that are dealing with large amounts of people on a regular basis. Let them be as paranoid as they want to be by all fucking means. Go full hazmat suit if you want to. If you're dealing with that many people on a regular basis, just understand that there are degrees to this shit. This is not one size fits all. But if you can, I know some of y'all are probably listening to the audio on this. I'm not wearing this fucking rag around my neck as a fucking fashion choice. I've been anytime I've gone out in public, I've had my face covered almost the entire fucking time. Is it 100%? No, but it's a thing you can fucking do. Okay? Wash your fucking hands. Yeah, that's the one thing. If you're not covering your face, fine. Roll your fucking dice, asshole. But wash your goddamn hands. Just on some level, don't be a dirty fuck. All right? Sorry, I may have gone a little bit vehement on that. But yeah, there are degrees. Do what you think you need to do. And be considerate of those who need to do more.
And the point I was trying to make is, as far as the dire need of I mean, if you really feel like you need to interact with other people, fine, I get it. But the biggest comparison and point that I make is, I hadn't seen my daughter in over a month. And it was killing me. She's my only daughter. She's all I fucking have. And I just wanted to see my daughter. I get it. If you're a piece of shit parent that doesn't care about your kid and you haven't seen them in years, I get it. This is going to do nothing for you. But for the rest of the human beings that actually do care, the only comparison I'm trying to make is, if I stayed away from my kid for my safety and her safety, that's the reason I wasn't seeing her. You can survive not seeing a whole bunch of other fucks around you like you would normally would. I mean, just think about it. Just think about it that way. And for the few single parents that are like me and that feel the dire need to be with your child and you can't, I just want to tell you, my brother, my sister, I feel you. But do it for the better part of yourself and for the better part of your child. Another fun fact that I want to throw out there that a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know till recently. I don't like giving a lot of information about my kid, just for her sake and for her safety, for what it's worth. But I just want to throw out there, I do have a very young child. The reason I bring that up is because when my kid was 7 months old, she actually caught the coronavirus. I didn't know that. So what we are going through right now, she hadn't been through when she was 7 months old. I didn't believe it until I actually saw her mom showed me the discharge papers from the hospital, and she actually had 2 viruses, and they were both respiratory viruses. One was a very common one, which was RSP or RSV, something like that. It's a respiratory virus that attacks your lungs, and she had the coronavirus. The reason that I remember that, or that we remembered that, me and her mom, was because when we started hearing this shit of coronavirus, outbreak of coronavirus, I was like, why does that shit sound so familiar?
Just to be clear, coronaviruses are a class of viruses.
Yeah.
So that's when you hear novel coronavirus, what we're dealing with right now is a new
new strain.
Yeah.
She had a strain of coronavirus that was just as bad. Maybe this one's worse. I mean, like, I'm not a medical professional, but was almost as bad as the one out now. The reason I know that is because when she got it, she actually spent 9 days in the NICU in the hospital, and we, as new parents, we were scared shitless too, because we didn't know what the fuck was going on. And even her, when she was a kid, she's still a kid, but when she was a baby, we were scared even more shitless, because when she was in the hospital, they didn't give her any medication at all, because there wasn't any medication that they could give her. The doctor was basically, she's going to have to battle it out on her own. The only thing that they did give her was 2 things. Tylenol, which is basically what they're telling y'all to take right now if y'all catch this shit. And they were giving her steroids. The reason that they were giving her steroids was because her lungs were still too small and very underdeveloped, because she was a preemie baby, that they were just trying to make sure that they did everything they could to make sure that they kept her lungs as straight as, as strong as possible. But those are the only fucking treatments she got the 9 days that she was in the hospital. So, yeah, I think about it now and I was like, damn, my kid, and that's another thing though. My kid, and in the short lifespan that she has, I'm not trying to tell you how old she is, but in the short lifespan that she has, she's caught so much shit that at this point, to her, like, this shit just comes natural. And now the good thing is, because she's been exposed to so much, that she doesn't really get sick at this point from much. She'll get a sniffle here and there, but we think that it's because her immune system was exposed to so much so early that she's pretty much, done with this shit.
Yeah. All right, we're coming. If the camera hasn't cut off already, it's about to cut off. So let's go ahead and close out real quick. I was saying earlier I wanted to end on a little bit of positive shit. I guess we haven't obviously done any stand up in a bit, so you know what I mean. That's
we're going crazy, yo.
I'm telling you, man. I just want to tell some dick jokes. I just want to find, I want to run up to strangers in the street and just be like, "Let me tell you some dirty shit."
I've been staring at the mirror, but the motherfucker in the mirror just will not laugh.
That son of a bitch. But our home club, as it is currently dealing with some shit. There is a fundraiser basically going on. Cena El Rey is currently doing some live streaming. They'll be doing shit tonight, and I know at least for the next couple of days, they finally got their shit together. You know I love y'all, but y'all were dragging ass on that shit. But go support them. They have you can PayPal them, Cash App them, whatever the fuck it is. If you've ever been there and you like them, or if you just like us and you'd like us to have a place to go when all this shit is over, by all means, go support them. Cena El Rey, I don't remember what the full address is, but search it online, find them on Facebook. They're doing their thing. and trying to keep shit together. So go help them. As a matter of fact, they're partnered with RGV Titan right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Shout out to Fredward and Sevi. Glad to see you guys
holding it together.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Fred and Sevi, for the opportunity. We appreciate everything you've done for us this far. We hope we can get through this together, and I really do appreciate a lot of this other avenues that we've had in the creation of our podcast and continuing to try to expand. Fred and Sevi have helped us. So shout out to Titan Radio, and I really do appreciate the help.
Yeah, and just to throw a couple names out there, if you guys are actually looking for, entertainment and shit like that right now, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I have run through almost every TV show I hadn't watched by this point.
I finally got to finish all of Narcos.
Shit, I haven't even started.
All of them. All 5 seasons. I went through them.
5 seasons?
5 seasons.
5 fucking hell, man.
There's 3. There's 3 where it started in Colombia,
and then they moved up to Mexico,
and 2 in Mexico.
All right.
And they're talking about another one to continue in Mexico, but still in the talks.
Yeah. Hey, and the second part of the Rick and Morty season came out, but anyway. But no, actually some entertainment. I just want to shout out a few names. If y'all want to go out there. Obviously our boys over at Not Suitable for Listeners podcast, they've put out a couple episodes during all this. I think they've done a couple live streams too. Go check them out. Roy Alex Gomez, Humberto Moreno, and Joseph Soto. Them boys are always funny. Also, let's see, we got, Polar Bear, John Gonzalez.
Yeah, check out that Polar Bear Live.
He's doing regular streams.
Back on that stream. Very funny motherfucker.
Yeah. Kua Genti up in Houston, along with Mike Rao, Rayo. They're doing, I can't remember the name of the podcast off the bat, but I know
Wise Guys.
There you go.
Well, actually, Wise Guys Speak.
Yeah. All right. So, and I know Koo, I don't know if that was part of Wise Guys Speaks, but I know Koo is doing some interviews with folks. He just had Alex Siddiq on, a couple days ago.
I think he's doing that separately though. Yeah, he's doing that on his own, I think.
Right. Also up in San Antonio, you got, Al Gonzalez and, Jacob Yarbrough, I think, Israel Garcia, a couple other names up there, man, but they're doing live streams on the constant. Al Gonzalez is actually, I think he's the one putting them together. They're doing, like streaming comedy shows. They're actually putting shows together, getting people in. They were actually doing some virtual reality shows. So that's fucking cool, man. Let's see, Alex Ansel out in Las Vegas, Adam Dominguez as well. He's got a great little series.
The coffee shit.
The coffee at noon. Fuck, those are good, man. Go check out Adam Dominguez, man. That guy's fucking funny, man. Shit. I'm trying to think of a couple names off the top of my head. I just want to shout out as many people as possible. Obviously, the folks over at RGV Titan Radio, they're still, keeping shit going. All the programs, The Human Condition, I want to say that Stephen Longoria just put something out that he's going to start up the Jackal's Corner again.
I didn't know that. Is he doing that independently or?
No. It's going to be on, but he just hadn't been doing episodes for a while.
Because he said he was going to come off it for a while.
Okay, well, I saw something not too long ago says he's going to start back up. Obviously, we've had Stephen on the podcast, and we were on with Octavio.
Yeah.
And Abigail over at the Human Condition, all the folks over there, they're doing stuff. I guess basically this is one of those feel good, hey, support your local entertainers or support your small time entertainers type of shit. But, really that's the one good thing that I think might come out of this is innovation. Like I want to see people doing creative shit, even if it's out of necessity. To be honest, necessity as where we're at.
Now I remember this is the last thing because I know we need to get off. This is the last thing I want to mention because I feel it's important. Thank you for reminding me. But real quick, I was going to elaborate, but we don't have the time, so I'm just going to get straight to the point. Last thing I wanted to say was, please stop waiting on the government or other people to do for you. My point was that you gotta try your best to do for yourself and other people. And I guarantee you, when you put your focus on that, I'm a strong believer that everything else will turn around and it'll turn back on you. So don't sit on your ass and wait for anybody else to do something for you. I mean, if they do, great, awesome, accept it. I'm not saying reject it, but don't sit on your ass waiting for somebody else, like the government or anybody else, to do for you. You need, as crazy and as cold as it may sound, you need to start figuring out ways to do things for yourself. And when you start doing things for yourself, just keep other people in mind. And I guarantee you that will reciprocate, and other people will think about you and try to do things for you as well. So that was kind of the biggest message I wanted to convey, along with the nutrition, the vitamins, and everything that we talked about. But the biggest thing is, do things for yourself. Do things to help yourself. Don't wait on people to do things to help you. Because I guarantee you, if you solely wait on that, that's probably the fastest way that you're going to die. So, I mean, I hate to be cold.
If not from this virus, just from being a useless piece of shit.
Exactly. That I know that sounds very cold, but it's the harsh reality. So do for yourself, and keep others in mind, and eventually, I guarantee you, it'll turn around and it'll come back to you. With that being said, my name is Freddy G. Like I said, I'm still not back on Facebook. I haven't downloaded the app again. I don't think I'm going to download it yet. Honestly, that's the only reason. There's no key behind it. There's no nothing behind it. Somebody asked me if I got into a relationship and if they told me to delete my shit. No, I'm still single. I don't give a shit about that. It's just y'all got really fucking annoying really fast. It's the honest truth. And and y'all already know. I get annoyed quick. Really fucking quick. So I just got annoyed really quick. I deleted everything. My page is still there, not unless Mark deleted me on purpose for whatever reason. But it's still there as far as I know. Eventually, that's another thing. I'm not saying that I'm gonna completely get off of Facebook. Eventually, at some point, whenever I feel like it, I'll get back on it at some point. But for now, I'm not on there. I got a bunch of other shit that I'm trying to deal with. Facebook is the last of my worries. Like I said, my Instagram is still on. Y'all can find me on Instagram currently. Y'all can hit me on a DM or whatever at Freddy G. Find me on Instagram at the moment. Or if you have my number, you can shoot me a text, shoot me a call. I'm not giving my number out on this shit. If you have my number, good. If not, find me on Instagram and ask me for it.
You can always find me at hatfieldstandup@gmail.com, as well as Hatfield Stand Up on Facebook and Twitter. I'm not on Instagram, so basically we're playing two sides of the coin at this moment. We're no promises, but I'm slowly trying to talk Freddy into doing some live streams so we can interact with some of y'all.
I'll try it. I'll go out here, and since we are on this thing right now, before we cut off, the next one that we do, that's where we're gonna figure out once we shut this shit off. The next one that we do, I'll try doing a live stream. I had a couple of reasons, nothing real big, a couple of reasons I didn't want to do a live stream, honestly, because I'm a very transparent person. My biggest thing was that I was telling Sean I didn't want to have technical difficulties during an actual live stream, and then make it difficult for y'all to watch and then just crappy. So with that being said, I was keeping you assholes in mind, so you're welcome, motherfuckers.
Yeah, just clarifying that a little bit. The live stream might be either supplemental. We might do it while we're recording an episode. It might just be something we do on the side. But either way, if that comes out, support, share it with your friends and all that shit. So if you want to find audio versions of this episode, of any of the episodes of this podcast, you can go to shoutengine.com/bouncing brains. You can find the video on YouTube / wait, no. We don't have the URL yet. We're almost there. I think we have almost enough.
I think we're at 80.
Jesus. So I take the whole comment about losing subscribers back, mainly because we just want that URL. Know that we have motivations. We have motivations. But yeah, you can go to YouTube, look up Bouncing Brains. As Freddy is fond of saying, we are the first result if you search for Bouncing Brains. You can also listen to the podcast, the audio version of the podcast on, what's the other one? Stitcher, under Bouncing Brains. And, you can listen to old episodes, I think, on RGV Titan Radio. Obviously we haven't been recording for the past 2 months or so, we're going to have to get back into the habit of that, but, we should be back into that sometime soon. We may end up doing, supplemental episodes. I believe this will be episode either 99, maybe. I think this one's 99. So next episode will be 100. We'll try to do something special for y'all that have been listening for a while.
I'll take my drawers off, I promise.
Oh, jeez, not when I'm in the room. We'll have to make that one a live cast from separate locations. And hopefully at some point in the future, we'll be getting guests back in, whether that's going to be over the phone, video, whatever it is. Maybe we find some brave motherfuckers that might come in here and join us. We don't know.
No, we won't find anybody brave enough to come in here. I thought about it 100 times before I let Sean back in the house.
Oh, he was giving me all kinds of hairy eyeball when I walked in. I coughed on purpose just to piss him off. But yeah, so we'll be back again. Thank you for joining us, folks. Hopefully that was not just 2 hours of bullshit.
And until next time, keep it tight and touch yourself.